Welcome to the first episode of ECTEL Bytes for 2024. The show is a production of the Eastern Caribbean Telecommunications Authority, and I'm your host, Cheryl Charles, ECTEL's Communications and Media Relations Manager. Just a reminder that ECTEL is a regional regulatory body advising the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commissions, or the NTRCs, on electronic communications or telecommunication matters in our 5 contracting states, namely the Commonwealth of Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We started ECTEL Bytes in May 2021 with a goal to provide bite-sized information about developments in electronic communications being undertaken by the Directorate and like-minded organizations. We've had guests from ECTEL's team, the NTRC, the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, the Office of Utilities Regulation in Jamaica, among others, and we look forward to bringing you more shows during the year with other partners geared at raising awareness about the sector. So let's get right to it. Our guest, the Acting Managing Director of ECTEL, Ms. Cheryl Hector Fontenelle, is no stranger to ECTEL Bytes. Welcome back, Ms. Fontenelle.
Thank you, Cheryl.
So we typically end the year with the Acting Managing Director providing us with a year in review and plans for the new year, but we decided to change it up a bit. The Council of Ministers held its 45th meeting just last Thursday, that's January 25th, and it was a hybrid meeting that was held in the Commonwealth of Dominica and also online. There are new ministers of council. So please tell us who constitutes the Council of Ministers and who is serving as the current chairperson.
Yes, thank you, Cheryl. The Council of Ministers of ECTEL comprises ministers in the contracting states with responsibility for electronic communications or ICT. And at the moment, for our fiscal year starting October 2023 to September 2024, the Council of Ministers is chaired by Honorable Shikira Lockhart-Hippolyte, who is the council member for the Commonwealth of Dominica. And she was able to welcome fellow council members at the 45th meeting held in Dominica and online. Also present on the council is Honorable Deacon Mitchell, who is the Prime Minister of Grenada and also the council member for Grenada on the ECTEL Council of Ministers. Honorable Honris Maynard, the council member for St. Kitts and Nevis. Honorable Stevenson King, council member for St. Lucia, and Honorable Camilo Gonzalez, who is the council member for St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Okay, so what was the significance of the recent meeting, and are there any major outcomes you could share with us?
Yes, so the 45th meeting was very important because the council received and approved the work plan for ECTEL for the fiscal year, as I mentioned, 2023 to 2024. In addition, and very important, the council will have received the consolidated budget, not just for ECTEL, but for ECTEL and all 5 of the NTRCs, the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commissions, in the member states for the same period as the work plan. And as I noted, it is very important that that meeting is a very pivotal meeting at the beginning of every year, because during that meeting, the chairperson changes, and this year, the committee, so the council member, for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Honorable Camilo Gonzalez, handed over chairpersonship of the council to incoming chair, the council member for Dominica. And at that meeting, council also received a number of regulatory reports from the Directorate on behalf of the board for their consideration. Now, in terms of major outcomes of the meeting, well, as we know, we have noted, the council did approve the work plan and budget, but very important for the sector is that the council members actually reaffirmed their commitment for the promulgation of the EC bill, that is our electronic communications bill, which has been recommended to member states. And for those members who have already passed the bill, they are committed to having the bill in force shortly. And so this year, that is something that we're looking forward to.
And the 2 members who passed the bill, St. Kitts and Nevis and St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Yes, so the bill is already in passed, but not yet in force in the 2 member states that you mentioned.
Okay. All right, so let's go back to 2023 for a little while. What were some of the major projects undertaken by ECTEL, and how are consumers expected to benefit from these?
Okay, thank you again, Coretta. I will highlight two projects, and these two projects are directly linked to the major focus that we have been doing for the last 2 years, which is on how do we create an enabling environment for the digital transformation of our economies. And a very important one is the quality of service regulations. We had a very extensive public consultation process on these regulations because they are new and very, very pivotal to ensure that you do have reliable service for and reliable infrastructure for the digital economy. And so we were able to complete that process. We are not yet all the way there, but what we expect is that very soon we will publish our determination paper, and so that members of the public can have an idea as to what the rules will be with regards to quality of service going forward. I want to mention that that area has been a long outstanding area where persons complain about the quality of service, and what these new regulations will do is to provide rules that will govern quality of service in the member states. Another major project has to do with spectrum management. Spectrum management is the lifeblood of the sector, especially the mobile sector. And what we are doing right now is to implement online processing for all our licenses, and we have made significant strides in all the member states on that front. But importantly, we would like to make sure that the NTRCs who are responsible for ensuring that spectrum is managed efficiently on the ground in the member states, that they have the tools that they need. And so that this year we completed the installation of fixed monitoring probes to assist NTRCs in that endeavor. And also we provided significant hands-on training to the engineers of the NTRC, again, to ensure that they are able to quickly find and resolve issues of interference.
And if you're following us on social media, you would have seen that post because we did have a little write-up of the training for the NTRC staff as well as Hector. Okay, so what were some of the challenges faced by the electronic communications sector during 2023?
I think like a lot of other sectors, a major challenge for us is affordability. We are concerned that at present, we have estimated that the cheapest mobile plan that you can find in most member states costs approximately 5% of gross national income per capita. And we know that the ITU has determined that for broadband to be affordable, it should be closer to 2% of GNI. So we have a bit of work to do to identify entry-level packages that will be more affordable for persons. Because we do not want persons who are of low income to be left back when the economy moves into the digital realm. And so this year we will continue our focus on that, but I have to admit that it has been slow going, and so it continues to be a challenge.
So what can we look forward to from ECTEL in 2024?
Well, there is a lot to look forward to, but in the limited time that we have here, I will focus on two components, or really subcomponents of the major initiative that is being undertaken across 4 of the ECTEL member states. That is the World Bank funded Caribbean Digital Transformation Project. Now, the Digital Transformation Project is a very comprehensive project that focuses on 5 key pillars that are necessary for a digital economy. That's your digital infrastructure, platforms, digital skills, financial services, and then also entrepreneurship. So I'm going to speak briefly on 2 of the subcomponents that are being spearheaded by ECTEL. And one is what we are calling a digital inclusion survey. And we want to ask our listeners and viewers to look out for in the next few months, there will be persons, there will be enumerators in the field conducting this survey, and we certainly encourage and appreciate active participation of the general public. What that survey aims to do is to assess household and individual access to the access and use to electronic communication services. But also we'd like to identify barriers to access where they exist and how we can address those barriers. Look at persons' perceptions of affordability and reliability, as well as try to get some handle on the level of digital literacy in the member states. And what we expect is that the outcome of that survey will assist in more targeted intervention to ensure that we truly have a digitally inclusive sector. Secondly, across the ECTEL member states, something else for persons to look out for, we will be conducting a very intensive public awareness campaign to promote the ECTEL across all 5 member states. And that is again something that we would like to be able to express and have persons understand how the ECTEL changes the landscape and how exactly does customers benefit from shifting away from the current Telecommunications Act to the new Electronic Communications Act. And if you have followed our social media, you will see that certainly in the last few months, we have intensified our information with regards to the ECTEL in preparation for this big project coming up. And we know, just to mention, as I indicated, that affordability is a major challenge for us and continues to be. And we expect that the ECTEL will provide us with much more enabling and a much more enabling legislation, to allow for us to address to some extent the affordability issue. And so again, I would just invite persons to stay tuned, listen to follow us on social media, and also listen to the traditional media so that they will be able to find out information on the ECTEL during that campaign.
Thanks, Ms. Fontenelle. Just to mention though, for the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project, we're hoping in the next couple of months to also have some of the other entities or organizations, because as you mentioned, it's a cross-cutting project, and so you have the ECCB, the OECS, and some other entities. So we're really hoping that we can invite them on the program to speak about, digital transformation. So it's time to walk through our new website. In December 2023, our new website went live, and we're pleased to be able to share the revamped website with you today. The domain is still the same. It's www.ectel.int or www.ectel.int. So here we go. We're going to take a quick look at the various menus, starting off with About ECTEL. Let's check out what's under Who We Are. When you click on the History tab, you can find a short video outlining ECTEL's history, and it's called A Journey of Change. So we won't play all of it because we want you to go there and watch it for yourself. It's less than 30 minutes long. If you're interested in learning more about why ECTEL was formed and the St. George's Treaty that established the Directorate on the 4th of May 2000, then you should definitely check out our treaty page. Then to get an idea about who makes up ECTEL's Council of Ministers and the Board of Directors, you'll click here to see the respective ministers and directors, the contracting states they represent, and of course, their designations. So those are the Council of Ministers, and you could do the same for the Board of Directors. Moving along to our work, you get a clear idea of the 6 departments at ECTEL and a very brief synopsis of the work being carried out by each of them. So to wrap up the About ECTEL menu, go to Contact Us, and there you will find our address, phone numbers, and email address. And there's also a form you can complete and submit, and one of our team members will be happy to get back to you. So I'm now going to hand over to Ms. Fontenelle.
Thank you, Director. And a very important area on our website, which provides meaningful information, is the legal and regulatory framework. And on that, in that area, you will find out information about what we do in more detail. So we will look at licensing, for example, or price regulation or spectrum management. And we know that from time to time, persons may be interested in what is the legislation in a particular member state. And so we have a listing of the current act, which is the Telecommunications Act, hopefully soon to be the EC Act, as well as all the regulations that are currently in force in all member states. What we want to draw your attention to on that page is the EC bill, the Electronic Communications Bill. As we indicated, that is the bill that we are moving to, and part of our major campaign this year will be to sensitize persons about what is in the EC bill and how it can benefit customers. Please note that the EC bill is available and you can also download the bill. You can read it online, but you're also free to download it so that you can sort of read through it in your leisure time. Another area that I would like to point out is our consultations page. And in here, we have all the public consultations that are conducted will be posted here. It is important to note that before we make regulatory recommendations, we normally conduct a public consultation on what are our recommendations, what are our potential recommendations to the member states. And everybody, including just regular customers, have an opportunity to provide comments on any matter that is currently on the consultation. We don't have any open consultations right now, but please revisit this page from time to time to see if there is a consultation that you are interested in submitting your comments for. I will just note that the most recent public consultation was on the quality of service. That consultation is now closed, but all the comments that we received are available for persons to view, and the determination paper will also be posted once that is completed. So again, I want to encourage everyone to visit that page because it is a page where you can let your voice be heard on any regulatory matter under consideration by ECTEL.
Thanks, Ms. Fontenelle. And if you go back a few ECTEL Bytes, we also did 2 shows on the QoS. So you could go there if you want to learn more about that public consultation that was that took place recently. So next up, we have media. There you can keep abreast of our most recent press releases or as far back as 2015 to see what was happening then. A new addition to the website is our ECTEL Bytes page. Persons who may not be on social media can now watch all our episodes from the most recent, which is this one, will be uploaded very soon, or check out the very first one, which started in 2021. The resources available on our website include publications and the Consumer Center. Let's look at the annual sector review page. These reports track the performance of electronic communications sector using key economic and statistical indicators such as sector revenue, investment, and service penetration. So feel free to scroll through. There's also information there for you. Finally, our Consumer Center, where we hope you will spend some time becoming familiar with the information there, including frequently asked questions. On the complaints page, you can learn more about the proper mechanism to file your complaints regarding your service providers, and also learn more about consumer contracts on the Did You Know page. So as we wrap up, let's take a look at our home page. You can quickly access the EC bill or the consultation pages there. You can also access featured articles and information on current events and notices. There are links to the NTRC's websites, and you can also check out all our social media platforms right here from the home page, either at the bottom left or the top right of the page. So there's absolutely no excuse not to follow us on Facebook and YouTube, which is at ECTEL, or on Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter, at ECTEL Authority. We hope that the walkthrough of our website, albeit brief, was very useful. And we're going to wrap up now by asking Ms. Fontenelle if she has any final words.
Yes, just to thank everyone who is either listening or watching our live, or who will watch the recording later, and to invite you to visit the website, give us any feedback you have, and again, in particular, visit our consultation page from time to time, and continue to follow us this year, looking out for our enumerators in the field when they will be conducting the digital inclusion survey, and listen for all the information that will be put in regards to the the EC bill in the upcoming months. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Fontenelle, for being our very first guest for 2024. This was episode 21 of ECTEL Bytes, and in case you joined us late, our special guest was Ms. Cheryl Hector Fontenelle, ECTEL's Acting Managing Director. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments below, and we'll be sure to reply. Apart from being on our Facebook page, the recording of ECTEL Bytes will also be on our social media platforms and right here on our new website, www.ectel.int. So be sure to share with your contacts again who are not on Facebook. Thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you again virtually on Wednesday, February 28th for another episode of ECTEL Bytes from 2 p.m. Eastern Caribbean time. I'm your host, Cheryl, ECTEL's Communications and Media Relations Manager. Thanks again for watching. And although we are at the end of January, let me take this opportunity on behalf of the team to wish you all the very best for 2024. Until next time, take care.